In this episode of Mongabay Sessions, we're having Andrea Vidaurre with us. She is a 2024 Goldman Prize winner. She shook up the scene in 2023 by spearheading groundbreaking transportation rules in California. Her efforts led to the first ever national standards for train emissions and a bold plan for all freight trucks to be zero emission by 2036. First of all, thank you, Andrea. What an amazing achievement you had by winning the Goldman Prize this year.
Oh, thank you. It feels huge. It's an amazing, honor to be recognized and for my organization to be recognized internationally, right? It's something you don't think about. So yeah, it feels great.
Can you talk about the two transportation regulations that your collective helped to pass?
Yes, we helped pass the Advanced Clean Fleet Rule and the Locomotive Rule, which is, in other words, a truck rule and a train rule. What the truck rule does is it's going to require companies that have more than 50 trucks every single year will slowly have to transition their diesel trucks to zero emission. So they will have to purchase electric trucks and start replacing them in their fleet. The train rule is, so in the United States, we have 4 major train companies and they own 90% of the rail. This policy, what it would do is it would require the railroad companies to start switching out some of their older trains. So right now, operationally, there's trains that are 60, 70, 80 years old, black plumes coming out of them still. And this is right behind people's homes and in front of schools and parks.
And when did you actually start to feel that the air that you were breathing was not okay?
The Inland Empire is a great place to grow up. I mean, I've always loved growing up there because, you're really close to nature, you're surrounded by mountains. The only thing about growing up there, of course, is that as I got older, there was a lot of changes that started happening, like parks being destroyed, homes going down, entire neighborhoods actually disappearing, and then these warehouses popping up. It affects your day-to-day life, right? It affects you because of the traffic, because of the air quality. It's still a beautiful place to live. We love it, but we are also living in the place with the worst air quality in the nation right now. When I started seeing the changes, I started understanding a little bit more all of this is running on fossil fuels. All of this is running on diesel.
And what are the health issues that come from breathing toxic air?
Directly targets your lungs and sometimes your heart. And it also can affect your mental health, right? And your physical health. But I think the thing that we run into a lot is people with asthma, people being born with respiratory issues straight out the womb. And then our elders having to be plugged into oxygen machines at night just to be able to breathe. And then, of course, cancers.
Can you explain what environmental racism is and how it has affected your community more than others?
Yeah, so environmental racism is this idea that the things that we need in our society, we need trucking, we need shipping, but even though everybody benefits from it, only certain communities have to pay the burden for it. And usually it's by race and by income in the United States. So historically as well, where they would put trash incinerators, where they would put toxic dumps was in communities of color.
And Andrea, what kind of initiatives does your collective do?
We have a lot of educational events throughout the years around the issues on climate change and health, and then get people involved in their local politics, right? So we've been fighting nationally at the EPA and statewide at CARB and even locally in every city. We have a great ecosystem of people we work with, right? We have lawyers, we have researchers, we have community members, we have artists, we have teachers, right? I think it took a lot of different experts in their own field coming together, and I felt like I was thankful to be one of those members and being able to get our community involved in it.
Yeah, no, your story is such an inspiration for so many communities that want to do something, and it starts by one person, a group of 5 people, to get together and brainstorm and push and push.
Yeah.
Andrea, now that you've won the Goldman Prize, how do you hope to use this platform?
I think I hopefully use this platform to make people more critical and to also think about, connecting us all, right? Like my story of the Inland Empire, there's a port community in Lima, in El Callao. There's a port community in Texas. There's a port community in, in India, like this story is actually really common and international. So if I can use this platform to connect that a little more, I'd love to too.
Thank you very much, Andrea, for joining me today in Mongabay Sessions. And we seriously cannot wait to see what you do next. Thank you.
Thank you so much.